Hello, this is the introductory video for Tuesday, and I'm glad to see you boys and girls and parents. Now, in your packet was an envelope this big, and on it said Mother's Day Project, and I didn't want you to open it because I just don't want you to lose the pieces before you get to do the project. So, before I forget, I'm going to show you what it is. So moms, you just have to turn your eyes for just a minute. This is just for students. All right, moms, close your eyes. All right, you're going to get to make a nice big flower for your mom. And this is the straw, and these are paper, and I think you can do it by yourself if you follow the directions on the video that I'm going to send. So that will be there today, but you don't have to do it today. Find a time when maybe you can work by yourself without your mom. If you have to have your mom, moms do like to help with things like that anyway, so you could, but see if you can do it on your own, and you can do it anytime between now and Mother's Day is Sunday, so I try to get it done before Sunday if I were you. And moms, you can look now. Your parents have been working so hard for you. I know you appreciate your mom, so I think you'll enjoy seeing this video and just do what they do, and if they're going too fast, try to put it on pause. And it's an easy project. I think you'll enjoy doing it. You will need a glue stick. I've already cut the strips of paper for you and the circle, and you'll have the straw, which is for the stem. And so I think you'll have everything you need. And I even put on a piece of wax paper, I put 2 pieces of tape so that you can tape the strips so that you can tape the straw on at the end. So it's on wax paper though, so it's not very, it might be hard to see, but it is in there just in case you don't already have some Scotch tape or some tape. Any tape will do. Now, let's get into our lessons for today. For Bible time, you are going to, we're going to go over some of the worksheets, and you're going to submit 2 more. You're going to submit 40 and 41, and then today in Bible I'm going to tell you what the answer should be on page 42 that you should have already done. And on arithmetic, you're going to be doing this with your teacher, and it looks easier than it is, so be sure that you listen along. I've seen big improvements in borrowing, which I'm really glad about. Now on your little, hopefully in class, maybe she's been reviewing with you. I haven't gotten to see every single video about the weight measures. So if you know that there's 16 ounces in a pound, then this guy, the desert horned lizard, he's going to be half a pound. So you just have to think of what half of 16 is. Now, this kangaroo rat's a little bit trickier because it's 1/4 of a pound. So remember, you're going to have to think of what's half of a pound and then divide that in half again to get 1/4 of a pound. All right, and then they just say they want you to mark under the animal that weighs the most, but you kind of have to figure out what these guys weigh before you can tell which one weighs the most. Now, kind of, although you might be able to figure it out anyways. All right, and on the thermometers, be sure that you look carefully at them because some of them are in between lines. Remember, that will be an odd number if it's in between lines. And let's go on to phonics. Now, tomorrow is your phonics test. So when you listen today at phonics, I want you to listen very closely. Remember the difference between an adjective and an adverb. Adjectives describe nouns. I want you to be able to think of an adjective for a noun. So if I said cat, you might say fluffy, fluffy cat. All right, I also want you to be able to think of adverbs for a verb. So if I said run, then you might say quickly, quickly run. So know the difference between your adjectives and your adverbs so that you're able to do that. Also, you're going to be putting some things in ABC order on your test. She's going to talk about dictionary skills, and some of that will include putting things or choosing things in ABC order, and then also on your paper that you're doing at seat work time with this arch. Looks a lot like the arch you had yesterday, but it's a different paper. You are going to number the names of those real arches in ABC order. Let's go on to writing. Now, yesterday you wrote the title and your first 2 sentences for your Jonah story on notebook paper. We're going to continue that on notebook paper today. Be sure that you're listening to your Abeka video teacher. She's going to show you more pictures and you're going to take it one picture at a time. Please don't try to just go all out thinking, well, I know the story, I'm going to write it, because it is more difficult than you would think to get the events in order and to make it simple, because there are so many details in this story. She will help you pick out the most important details, because when you go to make your final draft, you're going to write it in your creative writing booklet. And of course mine is all in this big book here. So it's going to look like this, and you're going to have to fit the whole thing on that page. So you're not going to want to go, on and on and on and on about Jonah. I know a lot of things happened. So stay with her and listen to what the other children, if you need ideas, listen to what the other children have written also, so that they can help you with ideas. That's not a problem. That's the reason why you're doing it together as a class. When you, and we'll talk about your rough draft, we'll talk about your final draft tomorrow. Today, I want you to finish that rough draft and submit it to me. If you kind of do that early in the day and get that to me so I can get it back to you for tomorrow, so you can make your corrections for your final draft. So rough draft, Jonah story will get submitted today. Let's go on to, in reading, I do have a reading comprehension paper for you to do today. Pay close attention to the number, because we are skipping this one. It's a nice poem, but it does have some harder words that I thought we should just skip since we're not in the classroom. And this one is a really cool one about sticky superpowers, but we're not doing that one today either. We're skipping it because there's some things on the back that are kind of frustrating if we're not in the classroom. So we're going to go to this one, number 50, page 57, but it's number 29, number 29. Oh, more than meets the eye. And you're going to see a Venn diagram at the bottom about frogs and toads. And we've done Venn diagrams in school before on the chalkboard. So you're going to write 1 or 2 facts that are true only of frogs. And they don't give you much room. So you do not have to write a whole sentence, just a little phrase. And then write 1 or 2 facts that are true only of toads. You might say, well, I don't know any facts. Well, that's why you're going to be reading. And again, you might need to read it more than once. As you're reading, you feel free to underline important things as you're reading. And then, last of all, write 1 fact that would be true of both a frog and a toad. So the one that is both, of course, goes in the middle where the circles overlap, because that is a Venn diagram. And then on the back, it just says you get to draw a picture of a frog and a toad based on the descriptions of the story. So you could draw your frog up here and your toad down here. You can label them frog, toad, and I should be able to see a difference based on what you learned in the story. So that's an interesting project. If you want to do the science today, we are starting health in science. We won't be reading much out of our health book, I don't think. We did get to read a little bit of that about manners at the beginning of the year, but we have not done very much in that book. We are going to start on health, and there's also some learning about your body in your science book. So, but instead of doing it in our science book, we're taking some shortcuts. I am going to assign this paper. If you would like to do it, it's called an earful. It's in your activity sheets. But there's a video that's really cool that tells you all about how your ear is connected to your brain and how it works. It's really cool, like this little machine, and it has all these little parts, and it just won't work right unless all those little parts can work together. And if you think about, did you know you have waves, like waves of the ocean, right inside your ear? So I hope you get to watch that little 5-minute video. And I think that's all I have for you. So have a good day today. Goodbye.